Good morning. We're going to head out to my parents' house and we are going to plant. Yes, we're going to plant. It's been raining a ton here. I was going to say a ton. And so we haven't got to planting. I know I said by June 15th, but we haven't got there right at June 15th because the ground was too wet. So they planted the strawberries and the asparagus. And I'll link the videos in the description of the videos that I told them to watch for the transplant. And transplanting is when a plant is already grown. You've already seeded something, whether it is a plant that you bought or a plant that you seeded. And then you transplant it, meaning you take it from the cell that it was in or the planter, whatever size, and you plant it into your garden. So we're planting it into the soil, and they have added compost. I already did a diagram of the field, so they have that field, they have the measurements. So I just told them again what measurements each bed was and what the rows were, the size, and then 2 inches of compost. And they got organic compost because they didn't want to use anything that wasn't organic, which I totally agree with, because you don't know from lawn clippings. A lot of people use chemicals in their lawn, and so unfortunately, if you're getting compost that's not organic, you could totally be putting chemicals in your wanting to be chemical-free garden, because a lot of things, people still use chemicals all the time in their yard. So anyways, that's why we didn't get the compost from 316 Rock. Also, it didn't grow that well. It didn't go well in the test. If you watch that video of me going out to 316 Rock, they did get the limestone. Is it limestone? Sandstone? The rock from 316 Rock, and it's the 3/4 size. And so that's going in the trench. But first, we really got to get these transplants in the ground, and we're also going to seed carrots, and I'll show you all the diagrams of what I've come up with for the garden in terms of bed size, also in terms of planting, needs to go out right away, and why I designed the rows in each bed that way. What is a row and what is a bed? And all right, let's head out there. It'll take about an hour. It's what it takes, but a little more than an hour from my place to my parents' place. And I'm ready to go. Wow, you got a lot of the rock in.
Well, just that. It's like, man.
Is that one side?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So bed 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the cover crop killed off good, huh?
Yep.
So that was a month of it being on.
Yep.
So you broad forked this yesterday, right?
Yes, I did that yesterday. These two I did yesterday morning. That one I did Thursday morning.
Okay.
I raked that yesterday.
Okay.
So we're ready to put the compost on that one.
Yeah. So strawberries, you got oh my God, there's a strawberry coming out over there on that plant.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my seed catalogs. I was gonna bring those. We can look up the different, wow, look at all these plants ready to go out. I guess we'll have to wait till the rain passes. there you can see the cover crop. This is the crimped area. This is where it changes right here. That was the mowed area, and that's the crimped area. Then all under here, under the tarps, is still the crimped cover crop area. And these beds, we're gonna put all those plants, transplant those into here. And I've also got carrot seeds so we can seed carrots. Hopefully this rain passes soon. We're gonna get rained out, y'all. No planting today. Did not know it was gonna rain. This is gonna be way too muddy to plant. So, be continued. Alright, giving you all the lowdown of the diagrams here. So you can see what I did, the entryway. We're actually going to change that because my parents have some equipment that they want to make sure that can come into the garden. And also this bed is going to go all the way across. These are not to scale, but this is. So the strawberries is 3 feet. Then this next bed is 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet, and 3 feet. And that's the bed that the asparagus blueberries in the box around it. That's what that is. And then 2 feet for each walkway. Okay? So we are making the beds here, and then you come to this diagram. We have plants that are ready to go out. This is where the asparagus blueberries are. We're gonna do a lot of different squash plants. Those need a square foot. Okra will be here, and mustard, and then onions, and then another walkway. Seed carrots, tomatoes, kohlrabi, and onion. And you can see I made how much space each one will take up. This is a 3 feet, but you know, if you have a little bit more spacing for tomatoes and squash, let's say, that's great. I've totally grown them in square foot areas, but if you have more, that's always good because they take up, especially the squash kind of spreads out, takes up more space. But they're both heavy feeders, meaning that they need more room. Their roots and the nutrients they take up is more substantial than other crops, so that's why they need more space as well. And here we have, this bed is going to be closest to the strawberries, are over here. Then we've got some squash here, peas here, corn here, and onions. And this is not to scale either because onions doesn't need that much space. But as you can tell, I wrote down 4 inches for the onions. And that's spacing in between each onion. You know, if you do 4 by 4, that's good. You don't necessarily have to. You could do 3 by 4. And then square foot for the corn. Peas, 6 by 6 is always good. And I said stagger them like this because you can fit more. And maybe the peas will go up the corn like a trellis. And this is kind of a take on the corn, beans, squash, right? The 3 sisters. But we're doing peas instead of beans. And corn is a heavy feeder, and peas, they release nitrogen after they're fully developed into the soil, which will help the corn. And then also the squash here, all the different squash we have that are going to be in that row. So this is a row. So we have 4 rows in the bed. So the full bed is 4 feet, but we have many different things that we're able to fit in that bed. We have 4 rows. So the difference between a bed and a row. And here are the carrots that I got. I love the Napoli carrots. I've tried many other carrots. I also have yayas and I have some other carrots, but these are sweet. They don't break off. Yayas break off in the soil quite easily. They're very fragile, but Napolis I found have been a great variety of carrots. So we are going to direct seed those. So I'll show you that as well. So the rain has let up, so that means we're able to go out here, put some compost down, make sure the beds are correct. I totally messed up because I was telling my parents the beds were 3 feet by 2 feet walkways, and it's actually 4 feet. The outer beds are 3 feet, the inner beds are 4. So that was totally my bad. So I guess it's good that it rained and we have not completed those beds yet, because they would have been incorrect, because I didn't go back to my original diagram and check. I just went from what I remembered, and I remembered incorrectly. So always good to check your notes before, and don't make my mistake. So we're going to make the beds 4 feet and the walkways 2 feet. Okay, so my parents said they noticed these weeds coming up here, and so to prevent them from coming up, because they're just going to come wherever there is soil, right? They're just going to make their way. So we did the trench here a while back, and now they're just making their way up through it. But they put plastic down underneath, and to prevent the weeds from coming up even more, and that's the plastic that's coming up alongside. This is the strawberry bed here. Hello, tomatoes. And so then of course the rock is going in, but that was really smart of them to just go ahead and have that weed barrier prevention and put the plastic in, even though, you know, plastic, don't really want that, but also we don't want the quiet grass coming in, and it also will prevent other creatures from coming in too. So there we go.
From here.
You have to put it down on the, right on the edge of the post.
Okay. It's down right on the edge of the post.
So now, look at that line. See how far we are off from the edge of the box. The box.
We're not far.
Okay, what about this end? Further?
A little further.
Hey, now I move it this way. How's that? You touching?
Nope.
Is it the same?
Yep.
Hey, You ready to do that?
We're doing the middle walkway, y'all. We're just figuring out what's square for this is going to be 5 feet so that the mower, the little mower tractor, can fit through here.
We'll see where 5 feet is. Right there.
Right on the edge.
Flag?
It's not going in really.
Must have been a rock.
Garlic scape. We'll pull off the garlic scape because then the garlic will get bigger and you can chop this up and eat it. Tastes like garlic. This would flower, but we want the garlic bulb to be bigger, so we're going to take them off. Cool! We got garlic scapes.
What's that mean?
Right here. The little part of the garlic that would make a flower.
Oh, yeah?
You take that off. And you can chop this up and it tastes like garlic. You can cook with it. But then the bulb, it'll make the bulb bigger because it's not concentrating on making the flower.
Uh-huh.
So, because you remove the flower, the bulb of the garlic will get bigger. Ta-da! Our first harvest!
Yay!
Garlic?
The garlic scapes are our first harvest.
Nice.
Wow.
That one didn't have
This
any
one, this
leaves
one's
on it.
pretty sad.
Yes.
And that one. So like where I got them from, the Stark Bros, I'm not gonna order from there anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab the other plants that need to go be outside from the greenhouse, and then also put cardboard in there.
Okay, I'll help you do.
So here in the greenhouse, we're gonna take out some of the rest of the plants here outside because they are ready to go outside. So let's do it. Even though, what happened here? I have no idea what happened here. This is a lot of broccoli that didn't come up. Well, that's not broccoli, that's like a tree. We got beets. This is broccoli too as well. Okay, I was gonna say, this collards or cauliflower, broccoli, they all kind of look the same when they're at that stage. That's broccoli. Then we got rainbow chard, peppers, some different kind of peppers. Hopefully. Got different cayenne, lunchbox peppers, jalapenos, and then bell peppers. There's some cauliflower. Yep, cauliflower. This is basil coming up. Supposed to be also parsley and mint and dill, which none of that came up, not sure why. And these bok choys, which have been eaten on here. So let's get those out. Before, but now it's coming back. So we're going to take the cardboard that we removed from over there and put it in the beds so this winter rye kills off. And the asparagus was planted in here. Asparagus.
Hot.
Sweaty?
Hot and buggy.
Alright, so putting the cardboard down to kill the cover crop, the winter cover crop, because it was coming up back up again. And remember, when you're using cardboard, that you don't want cardboard that has any tape on it, nothing that is dyed, and nothing that has been coated in anything. So, because you don't want any of those chemicals from the dye or the coating or the tape or stickers to get leach into the soil. So when you're using cardboard, just make sure of those things if you want to be chemical free, organic. Let's see. So definitely broad forking where it was mowed. As the cover crop is really broken up and it comes out easily from the broad fork, and then when you get down here where it was just crimped, it definitely, when you do the broad fork, it's going to stay in that broad fork, see? So definitely going to be different planting in the crimped area versus the mowed area of the cover crop. But we are going to not uncover this area. It's supposed to rain all this next week. And our main goal is just to get those plants in the ground that need to get in. So whenever there is time and the area is not too muddy, of course, it's transplanting those in 1, 2, 3 of the beds, and then of course adding the compost, and then the wood chips will go in the aisles there. And now I'm going to broad fork this spot.
Clear and hotter than the blazes.
Well, yeah, it's going to be hot on Sunday and Monday, but no rain.
Too now? Oh.
And then Tuesday is when it cools off, but there's
68?
rain Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and those are the cooler days.
It is working up.
So here, this is just something that might be helpful. Like if I'm not here, you have the diagram out, right? And instead of getting all the plants out at the same time or whatever, especially if there's multiple different trays that they're coming from, like all the squash family, and there's 5, 6, whatever of each one. But anyways, regardless, I was like, what can be helpful with the spacing, Papa, because you said, don't you want to start from the middle? And no, I'd rather start from an end and work my way this way, just like when we did the tape measure of one end to the other. But so we're doing squash, and then we're doing peas, right?
I don't know.
Yep.
I think so.
Oh, coming this way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The next row. So you can get yourself ready, so then you don't have to keep looking at the diagram if you don't want to, right? Because you're going to do a sample of what comes next.
I'll lay these
And
out
then
and
about
you can pick what you want.
where they're going to go.
Yep.
And then next after that, you've got corn. So then the corn, the spacing that you want for the corn from the squash is more important to have a wider space than it is for the peas to be away from the corn.
Okay.
Because the peas don't need as much room.
So that looks
And
like that's
both of these crops
due.
take up more nutrients, and they need more nutrients, so that's why we're going to space them out further, so then the nutrients is more dispersed from plant to plant that needs a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
So then you got that, and then you got the onions.
Why wouldn't you have peas on this side too?
You can if you have enough peas and you don't have enough room.
We got a ton of
But
peas.
this is, I don't know how this. So because this was an open flat tray, you just try and break it apart.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm so like, where's the onion part of this? I need to see the seed packet that you took this from. Because I'm like, this is no onion. Okay. Right? So then you have a mock-up of the whole bed. And that might be helpful when you can do it like that and do all of this, or you can lay it out and then come back and plant it. It doesn't matter how you do it, it's just what works for you in terms of the spacing, and that you're doing it by hand, right? And you're not keep having to go back to the diagram all the time because it's laid out right in front of you. You can already see.
Right.
But this really, I gotta see the seed packet you took these from, because this is not. How is this an onion?
We got twice as many peas as we do corn.
Yeah, but that's okay because peas don't take up as much room as the corn. And remember how I said you can stagger the peas so then you can fit more in one area. And if you would rather put peas on one side of the corn and then the other and then fine, I think you have enough space. it firmly and give it a loving tap. Massage. Firm. Loving tap. Massage. Firm. Loving tap.
Massage, firm, loving tap.
Yeah. Massage. Firm. Loving tap. Two, three, four, five, five, four, three, two, one, move! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move! Are you done?
Blast them. No, I still got a little more down here. It's just that if
5,
I
4, 3, 2, 1,
blast,
move!
close.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move!
Y'all planted a bunch of